one necessary? No, it's not. Any coefficient of 1 can just be represented by the variable. So x is equal to 4. Alright, so we solved that using one of our methods. I'll solve the next one using a different method. This is a procedural. This is the one that you're probably typically going to use, but those other two methods are there for us in case we decide we need them. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this, and we're going to look at one for division, and it's going to be, I'm going to use one of our other methods. Probably use our work backwards method. So let's do x divided by 2 is equal to 15. Remember, anytime it shows you this and it says solve, it means solve for the variable, solve for x. And I just use, it could be any variable. I just pick x because that's what I'm used to. So x divided by 2. This is the biggest mistake that I see. People see this as a fraction. It is a fraction, but it is also division. So this can also be saying x divided by 2. You need to understand that. If you don't understand that this fraction is actually division, things are going to get really hard and really complicated. So you've got to understand that that's actually division right there. So if we look back at our inverse property chart, we look to division. We think, what's the inverse operation for division? It's actually just multiplication. So what we're going to do here is we are going to multiply by what we're dividing by. So we are going to multiply by 2. But anything that we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. We have to. So we cannot just do it to one side. Both sides, multiplying both sides by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is just 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. X is equal to 15 times 2. Remember, we were multiplying. That was our inverse operation. So we get 30. And again, you guys should know that 1 is not necessary. So we're not even going to include it. We're just going to go x is equal to 30. And I guess I had lied to you guys about using the different method, so we'll do it on the next one. We'll do it on the two-steppers. So there's our answer there. X is equal to 30. Okay. So let's amp it up a little bit. Let's let you guys do some practice. So before we do, we'll do 2 problems of practice, and then we've got to get going on some multi-step problems. These have just been one step so far. So if you don't understand this, you might want to take some time to kind of review your notes before we move on, because these are one step. We're about to move into 2-step. So let's go 5x is equal to 50, and y, change it up, we'll do a y. Y divided by 12 is equal to 14. Alright, so this is your time to pause the video. Pause the video. These need to be written on your left-hand side. So pause the video now, complete this, and when you're done, you can start the video back up. Okay, I'm assuming that you guys are starting the video back up, so you have already answered these on the left-hand side. I'm going to give you the answers now. This is x is equal to 10, and y is equal to 164. Okay, let's see, 140 plus 28, no, 168. There we go. Y is equal to 168. If you didn't get those, you might want to pause the video and try and rework those. Alright, let's move into some 2-step problems. These are ones that are a little bit more complicated, and we're going to check out how we use our methods with these equations. So let's go solve for x. Remember, that's always our direction. We're going to stick with our handy-dandy x. So one that always works out for me. And we've got 2x minus 6 is equal to 10. Looking a little bit more complicated than our first ones. Okay, our first ones were a little bit easier to just guess on what could have gone in there. So we're going to use our first method. First method is the one that I use the most. So sorry, but that's the one that I stick to the most. Doesn't mean you have to. It's my favorite, though. So this is kind of the straightforward method. We go 2x minus 6 is equal to 10. Now what I do just to help me out is I actually look at where my variable is, and I put a box around that term. So term being anything that's connected to that x, I put a box around it just to kind of warn me I'm not going to touch that thing until it is all by itself, until it's isolated. So I put a red box around it. Kind of like caution tape, I guess. And I draw a line on my equal sign. And I'm going to think, okay, I want my red box to be alone. I want my x to be alone. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that -6. And so this operation is subtraction. So we go to our inverse chart and look to subtraction. We see that the inverse operation is addition. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. Remember, anything you do to one side, you have to do to the other. You can't do it to just one side. So we've got these, -6 and +6. Those add up to a 0. And we have 10 plus 6. We've got 16. And we've still got that 2x that we're going to carry down. And I'm still going to put it in a red box because I'm not quite sure that it's by itself yet. Not really positive. I'm not convinced that it's alone. So if we look at it, let's see. We've got 2x plus 0. I don't think that 0 is necessary. So I think that we can just get rid of it. 2x plus 0 is just 2x is equal to 16. And I can put the red box around it just for a second just to check. But when I put the red box around my 2x term, it's by itself. That's good. We're doing really good so far. So now it's by itself. I'm going to take the box off. And I'm going to think, okay, whew. Now I can get my x by itself. I've got my term, I can get my x by itself. So we've got to remember what's happening between the 2 and the x. There's an operation happening in there. There's something going on. So it's not addition, it's not subtraction, it's multiplication that's happening in there. Okay? And that multiplication, we look at our inverse property chart. Multiplication, the inverse operation is division. So we're going to take this and we're going to divide both sides, because we always do stuff to both sides, by 2. Okay? 2 divided by 2, we're going to get 1x is equal to 16 divided by 2, 8. So 1x is equal to 8. Is the 1 necessary? No. So we can just go x is equal to 8, and we've got our answer. Okay, we've got our solution. That's the first method of solving it. And that's my favorite method, but we're going to work through the other two because I think it's important to understand all methods of solving, and I will test you on all of the methods, not just one. We'll ask you to use all of them. I'm going to erase this, so if you still need it, please pause the video so that you can continue taking the notes on this. Alright. Okay, so we are going to use our second method. So our second method being our table method. So our table method, if you remember, we broke up the two parts of the equation. So we've got our 2x minus 6, and we've got our 10. And both of those become kind of their own equations. So we're going to have y is equal to 2x minus 6, and y is equal to 10. And I know for sure that you guys have heard about x, y charts. And in this case, we're looking for two y values to be the same. So we're going to look at the 2x minus 6 equation, and we're going to look at the 10 equation. So of course your x's, you can guess whichever ones you want. You can start at -100, you can start at 0, you can go by tens, you can do whatever you want. Just for the purposes of this, I'm going to start at 6. We'll try 6, 7, 8, and 9. Alright, so those are our x values, those are our inputs that we're putting in to our x. So when I take this x value of 6, and I plug it into this expression, 2 times 6, so let's go 2 times 6 minus 6. We're trying to look at what does that equal. So 2 times 6 is 12 minus 6. So 12 minus 6 is 6. Alright, so let's check to see if that matches our other y. This other y says y is equal to 10. So it's obviously 10. Remember, these 10s get to carry all the way down. Y is equal to 10, all the way down. Okay. And so 6 and 10, those don't match. So 6 doesn't work. Bummer. So let's try 7. When we plug 7 in, we're going to get 2 times 7 minus 6. So we get 14 minus 6, which is 8. That doesn't work either. 8 and 10 don't match. So we keep it going. 2, you can probably see where I'm going here. 2 times 8 minus 6. We get 16 minus 6, which is 10. Yay, we found our match. Awesome. So we've got our match here. That's our row that we're looking for. We're looking for these y values to match, 10 and 10. And just so that you guys know this works, let's try to plug in the 9. We're going to get 2 times 9 minus 6, which is 18 minus 6, which is 12, and those don't match. So again, just like we did the first time, we're going to get x is equal to 8, which it says right there. X is equal to 8, which is the exact same solution that we got in the first one. I'm just showing different methods here. So I'm going to erase this. We're going to look at one more method. We're going to look at the work backwards method, and that's method number 3. Then you're going to get a couple problems that you guys are going to work out. And then I might solve one more for you, one maybe a tricky one. So third method, this is work backwards method. We've seen it before. Work backwards. All right, and this is the one where we've got our table, okay? We're starting with our x. Again, I've got my x, and we're seeing what's happening each time to our x. What's our operation that's happening? What's our inverse operation? So what's the opposite of that operation? And what is our solution? So our solution is going to end up, we're going to kind of work backwards. So we're going to build our equation down, and then our solution will work back up. And you'll see what I mean by that, hopefully. So our x, if we start with x, we want to see what's happening to x first. What do we have to do to x first to get that expression, to get the right-hand side? So we're looking to end up with a 2x minus 6 down here. So what do we have to do to an x to get 2x minus 6? First thing you have to do is you've got to multiply it by 2. That's the first thing that happens. It attaches to that 2. So we've got 2 times x. So the operation that is happening is you are multiplying by 2. Okay? So you're multiplying x by 2. The inverse of that, if you need help, you can look back at our inverse property chart, is dividing by 2. Okay? And we're not going to do our solution yet. We're still trying to build our equation. Alright, so what else do we need? We've got 2x now. So now we've got 2x. What else do we need to build that left-hand side? Well, we've got to subtract 6. So let's start that. Let's go 2x minus 6. So that what we did there was we subtracted 6, right? So the inverse of that would be adding 6. Subtraction and addition are inverses. And now we've got our entire left-hand side of our equation good. So we've got that whole 2x minus 6. And so now, if you remember from last time, we start with our right-hand side. So this is our right-hand side, our 10. And that's where we're going to start. And then we're going to apply our inverse operation. So we go 10 plus 6. All right, when we do that, we get 16. 16 divided by 2, okay, when we do that, we get 8. And look, we're up at the top. So again, in our same way that we did before, we get x is equal to 8. Okay, so 3 different methods, all going to get you the same answer. So I'm going to give you guys probably 2 to try and work on, and then I'll work through one more. If you don't have time to view my last one in this class period, that's okay. No problem. It's just going to be kind of a challenge one that I work out to kind of stretch our thinking. So here we go. I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to give you guys a couple practice ones. Remember, when I give you the practice ones, you want to pause the video, and you want to work them out on the left-hand side all by yourself. Okay, so 10x minus 4 is equal to 96. Right. And then this might be a little bit tricky, but let's try it out. Y over 3 plus 1 is equal to 9. Now let's go equal to 13. Okay. Alright, so pause the video, work those 2 out, and then if you do have time, come on back to this video, and I'm going to be working out a little bit more of a challenging one in just a second. Alright, so I'm assuming that you guys have paused the video, you have worked those 2 out.